What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the next episode of This is the Police. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while. We already did our reading material. Never let it be said that Splattercat is not a fan of reading. He simply can't do it. He just doesn't do it. You can read, though. I have no problem. You want to peruse again? Stimulate your brain muscles. But off to work we go. We should really get our car fixed. We have $60,000. I mean, you got 60 grand and you can't get your car fixed. What can you get done? So, Wolf, Armstrong, Mole. Looks like nobody has an excuse for me today. Let us start the day. That's good. I don't like hearing excuses at the beginning of my day. Excuses at the beginning of my day are frustrating and they upset me. I think I'm going to go for some sweet ginger green. You would think that white vinyl would have a weird texture. I don't know. In general, white paints and white coloration, they make things... I don't know. Have you ever had, like, for example, like white model paint versus all the other types of paint? The white model paint is like thicker. Or like white paint for your walls. It always feels like thicker than other paint types. I don't know if that stands for acrylic too, but... We can't really arrest the suspect till tomorrow, so... I wouldn't send them without the lead officer. Or I'm sorry, without the lead investigator. I wouldn't recommend it. Probably a bad plan. The Sand family's main attorney is under guard around the clock. It's better than being undergored, I suppose. Although, it depends what gourd you're talking about. If you're talking about, like, under a squash, it depends how much you like squash. Alternatively, if you're talking about being undergored by a bull, yes, I would always prefer to be undergored by bulls. I mean, that goes double for his children. Before we could pick them up from school this morning, some of Varga's punks kidnapped him. We don't know how Varga found them. They live under false names. Anyways, you'll need to act quickly. They can't have gotten far. Send Austin and Ramos. Off you go. Have fun. Get the job done. Please don't come back with knife wounds, bullet holes, or dead civilians. Thank you. I feel like I shouldn't have to give this statement when I send you out, but I can never tell with you guys. There's a fight at Freeburg Elementary School. Why is this a police problem? Two senior students began to fight right in the middle of chemistry class. Their teacher, Dolores Ponder, first tried to calm them down, but when she attempted to separate them, she was poked in the eye. Okay, send some more cops. At the Museum of Fine Art, we have a theft. At night, a little-known painting by the Dutch master De Vroom, recently shown for the first time, disappeared from the museum. He actually mostly just paints pictures of vacuums. That's pretty much it. One of the museum's windows was broken, and there's a brick lying on the floor inside. Okay, well, Wolf, you will proceed with the investigation, and it looks like everybody else is on that arson. I should have held back a little bit. I may have sent too many people to be a part of that. My share of the non-automatic... Okay, so I'll take the money on that one. There are drug sales happening at St. John's. Miss Dunbar said that a nurse tried to sell her drugs right in the hospital. I went to the doctor after I broke my arm. The nurse heard me complaining about pain and waited till the doctor left. Then she began telling me about the pills she could get me. Better than Vicodin, according to her. This is actually a serious problem in the nursing industry. People, like, you would be amazed. My mom's been a lifelong nurse, and you would be amazed the lengths people will go to steal some pills out of a cabinet and sell them. Offender has been caught. Officers unharmed, so Tsubaki and Purdy are looking nice and purdy, I guess. Those two are back from the Sands call, which is great. I'll probably start putting Austin on more things. I'll probably get rid of Ramos because we need to hire more female officers. Drug sales report. Offender was caught, so that's good. Loot found. Cocaine. Holy shit. She was not kidding. Have the mafia sell it. We will split the proceeds of one of the bricks with the crew and then with the rest of them. Let's see. So, Rafael Campos, the museum guard, says, I walk the museum every hour. The alarm is off. City Hall won't allocate money to fix it. I didn't hear the glass breaking. It's a big museum. When I went down this way again, it was already early morning. The window was broken and the canvas was cut from the frame. There was no trace of anybody around. Just a brick lying on the floor. That sucks because that's how they identify paintings, is by what's behind the frame. That tends to be how you tell what's authentic and what's not, because the people that copy the paintings may not be aware of what's underneath there, the brushstrokes required in order to emulate it and make it fake. And so anyways, they will often do that because they mount them to the walls with security features. And so they'll come up with a razor blade and they'll just slash that shit. It's a shame, man. You gotta have some respect. Even if you're an art thief, you gotta have some kind of respect for the art. And it's just like, man, you're gonna destroy something 600 years old so you can turn a buck. Jesus. The parking lot was empty all night long. In the morning, a cyclist went past with a tube on his shoulder. The guy slowly rolled into the parking lot, then left the bike for a couple of minutes and went out of sight. Then he came back, got on the bike, and left. That could be a false positive. Bram Vanderhoff, art school student. I suffer from insomnia and often go cycling around the city late at night. I took a tube and some other equipment so I wouldn't have to go back home before my morning classes at art school. I stopped at the museum to pee. I admitted I like to mark the corner of the building. I imagine a day my work will be hanging inside. Okay. Jeremiah Stevens, teacher at the art school. In his lectures on the works of the Dutch masters, Bram Vanderhoff always sharply criticized the works of De Vroom. He dismissed the legendary artist as overpriced mediocrity and was very amused when an unknown De Vroom painting was discovered in the city dump. He said it was already in its proper place. He was less amused when he learned that the De Vroom painting would be hung in the museum. Wouldn't be surprised if it was Bram who broke into the museum and stole the painting to burn it or cut it into tiny pieces. The glass is almost completely broken out. A grown man could easily climb through the window and not cut himself. Most of the shards are lying on the pavement outside the museum. All right. At the city center, Christopher Sands, some goons grabbed the half-sister of one of our family members right off the street. Her driver called us from a nearby payphone, but he's a wimp and couldn't actually do anything. From the description that we got, it sounds like Varga's men. If you do get there first, hold on to him for us. Don't hurt him too much, just don't let him leave. We have something special planned for them. Let's send Purdy and, I don't know, Austin, whatever. It's not that far away. We've almost got our A-team back, so. Do we get new officers like halfway through the day? Ooh, Patricia Anderson. Ooh, she's better than Ramos. Yeah, we need to make this happen. Ramos, hate to tell you, buddy. So we can't fire him for any of those reasons. I don't really want to kill him, because that's the other option. The other option is that we just blap the fool. We call it a favor from the mafia, and when he gets there, he gets shot in the face. I don't know what the serious consequences are for firing him. I kind of feel like an asshole for shooting him in the face, though, so we'll terminate him. And then labor market, we will hire Felix Beckman. That sounds like the alter ego for a superhero. Patricia Anderson. Hire for Shift A, I guess. Because Shift A is short a guy right now. And then there's also no female presence on Shift A. Honestly, it's probably a good thing to have more female officers, too, when dealing with, like, female issues and stuff like that. It's helpful to have somebody around that can do searches and things like that who's female, just to add a little bit of extra plausible deniability. A parking valet just called in, reporting that a girl exiting an expensive car was approached by a man wearing a hood who threatened her and took her bag. Sensubaki Numata. Wee, 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 wee. That's not what the sirens sound like where I live. They did a whoop, whoop. They got that thing going on. Whoop, whoop, woo. Robbery. The offender was caught. We get better at policing. Hooray. Assault with an offensive weapon. An older prisoner, tired of eating the food served by the prison cafeteria, made his way to the kitchen carrying a shiv, intent on having a word with the chef. Guard called the police as he was reluctant to enter the kitchen for fear of further provoking the prisoner. This doesn't seem like a police matter. You guys have your own prison riot force. So why are you calling for me? Most prisons have their own on-site SWAT team and, like, rapid response training and all that kind of stuff, so unless it's already seriously out of hand, I don't know why they'd be calling me, but whatever. This game's doing all kinds of weird things when it comes to procedures. Kitchen floor is decorated with broken plates and an upturned pan filled with muddy slush. An elderly prisoner is sitting on a stool, dipping his hand into the pot of slush and shoving it towards the cook's face, saying, "You try to eat this." Hey, we got a couple nice warm burgers here. I love burgers. Who doesn't love burgers? Everybody loves burgers. Well, except for my fiance. My fiance is a very picky eater. Finding things that she will actually eat, kind of difficult. Although she's opening up her mind to new things. You know what I mean? Like, since we got together, I figured out you have to, like, give her a meal. So let's say you give her a meal with 3 things in it. 2 of the things she has to be comfortable with. Then you give her one that she's never had before. And she'll try the one she's never had before as long as there's other things there that she can munch on. Basically, I think it stems from she doesn't want to go hungry. And so she grew up, like, really, really poor. And so, like, if you didn't like what was there and you didn't eat it, you just went hungry. And so you got to give her alternative options in case she tries a couple and doesn't like it. Otherwise, she just is like, nah, we're not going there for dinner. Or, no, I don't want that for dinner, you know. It is what it is. You got to learn to work with your partner in life. So this lady bought a ticket. She was carrying a bottle. And then this one, she probably ran out. Yeah, there it is. Zoe Nossick, a student. About a month ago, she unsuccessfully applied for an usher job at the Last Picture Show Theater. Did you burning places down over a minimum wage job? It ain't even worth it. Why bother? And Beasley's not here either. So it would appear to me as though, yeah, we don't have the lead officer on either one of these. So without the lead officer, your chances go down pretty... Your chances go down pretty exponentially of capturing them without the lead officer. So, there's a brick. He cut the painting. That's a picture of him picking up a brick, but the window's already broken. I don't know about that one. I'll wait and see what comes up next. Wait and see what comes up next. At 2 a.m. we should have the option to bail. Hopefully the Sands people are doing all right because we've been helping them with everything so far. So it seems unlikely to me that Vargas is going to be able to recover for a little while. We may be able to avoid messing with them for a bit unless we want to keep our lead. If we get some kind of bonus for like being really, really badass at our job... Alright, citizen earnings have fallen 9% since the new year. Former City Hall employee admits official unemployment data far from reality. Unemployment in Freeburg is the lowest in history. Huh. Seems like we have some conflicting information here. Some information that's at war. Not with itself, but with each other. And you won't like it when data go to war. When data go to war, they ride out. So we've got Anderson on the force now, so that's good. I'm just glad that we got to upgrade. I mean, that works out for everybody involved because you're getting rid of a low-efficiency officer and you're replacing the low-efficiency officer with somebody who is way better at their job. So, I mean, she was only 10 points, but if we had dropped, say, somebody that was 100 for a 160, that probably would have been the plan of action. What is this? This is new. Snag It by Len Bernard. Sure, let's snag it. Snag it and put it on that. There we go. Put it on the turntable with that spindle ride. Alrighty. So, the Mafia has our share of the cocaine sale. They gave us $8 grand for it. I'm going to take it. We have investigations to handle, so I'm going to send Samadi and Anderson. I'm sorry, Robbins and Anderson on that one. We have disorderly conduct. The elderly Emma Watson, or Emma Weston, sorry, called in a complaint about her neighbors. Her house is shaking from the loud sounds of gnashing metal and the roar of turbines, accompanied by some strange beeping noises. Through the window, she also saw people moving around. It's construction, isn't it? Send people who aren't particularly good. I bet it's construction. For this one, let's bang this out fast. So send Samadhi and Gist. Tomorrow's the deadline for the hiring female cops. I can't help you didn't give me anybody to hire. There haven't been 3 women this entire time. We've got a lot of female cops, but it's not going to be enough. I mean, every time I go through here, like, I would be more than happy to swap a cop out, but they're not even giving me female cops, and so I don't really think that's a fair challenge if they're not going to give you the availability in paper. I mean, I guess they gave me a couple really, really terrible female officers. It's a hostage situation with a fatal casualty. Patients at the local asylum rebelled against the nurses during breakfast. 3 nurses have been wounded while others remain locked with the patients in the dining area. They've threatened to kill 1 nurse every hour until they're released. I don't have anybody to send. That's unfortunate. Please be informed that your employees have filed a formal complaint against you. We gather information and familiarizing ourselves with the circumstances of the case. Bullshit. That's not good. I can't be investigated right now. I'm kind of selling a lot of cocaine. Really? That wasn't a false alarm. That feels very unlikely to me. I love the fact that I can now reallocate these to other investigations. Detectives on this one. Let's put Mole on it and Davenport. That should be good enough. And send Robbins, Anderson, and Cadeau with SWAT to respond to the hostage situation. When they get back, I almost guarantee you we're going to get a call from them saying that they need backup, and that's understandable. We just don't have backup right now. So as soon as backup gets here, oh, they got to cross the pond and everything. Damn. Okay. Reporters and onlookers have gathered around the building. The asylum patients are watching the growing crowd from the windows of the 3rd floor. Let's go ahead and call in a negotiator. Oh, cool. Never mind. I didn't need to reinforce. And Anderson is well on her way to becoming a valued member, actually. There's nobody to hire. What do you want me to do, City Hall? What do you want me to do? Reckless endangerment at City Center. A frightened woman phoned in reporting that 2 men dressed in armor were running through the streets shouting, "Beware our stings." They were chasing passersby and swinging blades at them. They've not yet done anybody any harm. Their swords seem dangerous, though. Send Gis, send Burns, send Grant. Probably should have sent Samadi as the lead officer and then gone with Burns and Grant, but whatever. Sands needs help. An old friend is visiting Mr. Sand, and they're planning on going on horseback riding. But the owner of the country club just called. He wasn't making much sense, but it sounds like some punks are beating Mr. Sand's horses to death. Send Anderson. Help out with what you can help out with. Offender is caught. Good. Still trying to keep an eye on the labor market, but we got nothing. I mean, got a pretty decent detective who could replace, not Beasley. Well, I mean, Armstrong is getting better, though. I mean, he's not as bad as he was when we started. So, I don't know. Anderson's done with that, so we're helping him strike a blow against Vargas. He should have a pretty good lead soon. Oh, wow, there's weather. Has that happened before? I don't know if that's happened before. Noise complaint in the ghetto. Klim Yuriev reports that suspicious people are constantly going in and out of the apartment next door. They're carrying big bags, making lots of noise, screaming, and his 3 sons can't concentrate on their homework. Somebody's got to show these bandits who's boss. They'll radio for backup if they need it. I've got a suspicion that it's a false alarm, but it's nothing that you can actually go off of right now. I mean, I feel like it probably is, but I think at midnight maybe it'll cycle the officers we can have. We'll figure out who we can hire, maybe. Hired who I can. I mean, we've got a pretty... Sands needs help at the port house. A whole mob of Argus people attacked a truck belonging to one of our companies. The truck is carrying important cargo, the kind Mr. Sand and his deputies know about. The driver tried to call us, but we lost the connection. He may already be dead. You've got to stop those assholes before they make off with the goods. Let me wait and see what happens with the noise complaint. Oh, really? There was actually a criminal there. An automatic weapon was found. Bring it back to the police station. We've got to have some evidence in the evidence lockup. Alright, now that I know that I've got officers on the way back, send them over to help Sands out. Theft, we've got a new investigation. So he picks up the brick, he throws the brick. Something like that doesn't look horribly off. I guess it kind of depends if he pulled up on a bike or not. With a tube on his shoulder. There might be a picture of a cyclist with no tube. Took a tube and some other equipment, so I have to mark the corner of the building. One day my work will be in there. Did he pick up the brick afterwards? That might also be the problem here. Could have climbed through. Most of the shards are lying on the pavement outside the museum. Oh. I didn't read that last time. The shards are outside the museum. Okay. Doesn't change much, but if you throw a brick through a window, the motion of the brick should cause the glass to collapse inwards. So the glass should be on the inside of the building, right? If you throw a brick at a window. I mean, there'll be some on the outside. I guess it depends on the size of the window, too. If it was a smaller window, I'd expect that effect to be more pronounced. Who is this right here? There was just a brick laying on the floor. Well, I think we might need more frames to make this one work. I think we've got conflicting information, so we'll keep an eye on it, but I'm sure we'll get it resolved. With my deputy. Hire a snitch, please. I don't know if their professionality... I was worried about doing it on one of the good officers because his professionality might make him turn on me and be like, no, I won't do that. I don't know if that's an option. But it would make sense that a high professionality officer would turn down snitching on his own people. I mean, all officers would turn down snitching on their own people. Thin blue line and all that. But we're out of time for the day. My name is Splattercat. I will see you all in the next episode of This is the Police. How you do, everybody?